Data, 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 data everywhere. Do you also sometimes find yourself submerged and overwhelmed with all this data around you? Hello and welcome to another edition of Chai with Pi. My name is Prakash Iyer and I'd love to share stories and simple lessons that can help all of us become just a little bit better. We all need to grapple with an overload of data, and that's why I thought you must hear the story of a rock band called Van Halen. Van Halen used to be a fairly popular band in the 80s and 90s, and interesting, every time they went out for a performance, they'd have one of these contracts which would be about 50, 60 pages long. Obviously, like a good band, they wanted to be sure that the organizers of the event had got it all right. So they would specify the height of the stage, the distance of the first row from the stage, the kind of lighting, the sound requirement, the kind of tonnage that the stage needs to hold, the scaffolding design. Every little detail was contained in that 50 or 60 page contract. Hidden on something like page 23 of that contract was a little clause which said that in the green room in where Van Halen's band would be, they wanted the organizers to keep a bowl of M&Ms, those tiny button-like chocolate candy, also known as gems perhaps in our part of the world. They wanted those M&Ms to be kept in a bowl, and the requirement was that there should be no brown M&Ms. Now, all of us who've heard these stories of superstars, we probably are thinking, one more of these fancy requirements from a superstar. Not quite. As Van Halen explained, there was a good reason why they wanted that bowl of M&Ms with no brown M&M in it. Turns out that they were very keen to ensure that all the requirements, all the specifications required for a great stage performance had been taken care of. But given that they would reach the venue only a few hours before the actual performance, they would struggle to know if the event organizers had taken care of all those details. So what would they do? You guessed right. They would go into those green rooms, look for that bowl of M&Ms and check. No brown M&M, bingo. They knew that the organizer had read through every clause in the contract and taken care of every detail. But if they found brown M&Ms, they knew they had a problem and they would need to really go through the entire list and perhaps tell the event organizer that they were unhappy because he hadn't really taken care of their needs. Interesting story. In this era of data overload, I think we all need to have our own version of that no brown M&M rule. We need to find that one indicator that can give us a sense of what's happening rather than look for a whole lot of data points on what the picture might be. I know of an interesting story about Ray Kroc, the man who really built the McDonald's empire. The story goes that every time Ray Kroc would visit a franchisee store or a McDonald's outlet anywhere in the world, the team at that outlet would obviously put together lots of data to try and give Ray Kroc a sense of what was happening. So they would have scores on food quality, the results of the ingredient tests, customer satisfaction scores, happiness scores, cleanliness scores, repeat buy. Think of the data point and they would have all of it put together for Ray Kroc. What would Ray Kroc do? Simple. As he walked in to a McDonald's outlet, he would head straight to the washroom. And he would say that looking at the washroom, he could tell how well the franchise was being run, how well that McDonald's outlet was being run. Clean washroom, being cleaned regularly, he knew he had a management team at the outlet which was doing its job right. Good idea for all of us to perhaps find our own rule, a no brown M&M rule, and you will suddenly discover that you're no longer looking for multiple data points to get a sense. You're looking for that one lead indicator, that one thing that can give you a sense of what's happening. That's all in this week's edition of Chai with Pai. Until next time, enjoy your chai and yup, maybe grab one of those brown M&Ms.